Hi, my name is Kiev Harris. I'm the program manager for Empowered Aging Alameda County. And when I think of the See Me, Hear Me campaign, I like to take it for what it says. A lot of our elders, if you feel like you're not being seen, you can be heard. And if you're not being heard, you can be seen. And those two things together can be very powerful. So I'll share a brief story. As we were spearheading this campaign, obviously we were going into facilities, and us as ombudsmen, we come into facilities with very minimal items. We usually have a notebook, a pen, and our keys. But this time I bombarded a facility and met with the administrator, and I had a bag full of paddles, full of documentation, which was a little alarming for them. They said, "What did we do? Are we in trouble?" And I said, "No." So as I proceeded to bring some of the items out of the bag, I showed them some of our paddles. And when I showed them the paddles, surprisingly enough, they were completely on board within every facility that I went to, because unfortunately, this is something that is unheard. A lot of our elders in Alameda County and just in general, oftentimes they feel unseen or unheard. So as I proceeded to walk through the facility, I encountered this gentleman, and he had been in this particular facility for almost 5 years, and he resignated from New Jersey. He came out here as he served in the Marines and things like that, got married, had a family, a sailboat, things like that he shared. And so as I showed him the paddles, he instantly welled up with tears. And I said, "Well, did this trigger something for you?" And he didn't want to talk about it. And I said, "No problem." So the caveat to this story is a few days later, we get a knock on the door here at our office. And us as ombudsman, we know it's very far in between that we actually get a visit from a resident, but we got one. And so as I proceeded to go to the door, it was this gentleman that I met in the facility who didn't want to talk. So he came in by himself. He drove himself down here, knocked on the door, and intruded our facility. I mean, intruded our office. And he came with great spirits and things like that. And so he shared with all of us collectively as a team that obviously he's from New Jersey, and he also took part in being a comedian on the side before building his family and transitioning out here to California. And he said, so as he transitioned into a skilled nursing facility, he felt like his personality was starting to diminish. And him as a person, he wasn't being seen, nor was he being heard. And he was taken as a joke, although trying to make people laugh with jokes. So he wrote on a paddle, laughter is the key to the heart. And he explained that with laughter and a little, comedic comedy here and there has the ability to change everything. And so he said, with him hearing us in a facility share this campaign, really inspired him and triggered something inside of him that wanted him to speak out and be heard. And so he shared his story that, he had been feeling unseen and unheard, and that his personality, which was from a comic perspective, um, was looked down upon. And so he felt inspired to be himself, shed those jokes, bring laughter into the facility, because sometimes, as we know, with life changes like that, it's probably not your hopes or your desires to be in the nursing facility, but it's really about shifting the narrative and the perspective to make one feel happy with their new home, so to speak. So he definitely stood out. I thought that was a phenomenal story for a resident to come seek us out so that he can be seen and that he can be heard.